Hey, it's MOZ the Must See, and today I'm going to give you my end of season predictions. All right, let's talk about how I think the season will end. We're going to start off with the big award, the MVP. I'm going to go ahead and say what my MVP is, but I'm going to need y'all to just listen. I'm going with Jalen Hurts. Yes, I'm one of those people who believes Jalen Hurts is also a bit overrated because I remember last year when a lot of people was like, "Oh, we got to replace Jalen. We got to replace Jalen. Jalen has a good season." Now everybody has him in his top five. So I don't think he's the best player. I don't think he's the best quarterback. But however, I respect the style of play and I respect what's around him. That Eagles team is super loaded. Jalen to me does not have to make a play. He doesn't have to do like anything risky. Like he has to make a play, but I mean like he's not out there with looking around and I don't have nobody to help me. No, he's got running backs, he's got receivers, he's got an all-pro line. He has a defense that's going to make stops, so he doesn't have to force anything. With that said, I believe he's going to get plenty of rushing touchdowns, plenty of passing touchdowns. His yards will be pretty solid, and he'll have the respect from last year to go along with it. So that's who I'm putting my money on. People who I would say are threats is we're going to go ahead and say Aaron Rodgers, that Jets team. I was a fan of the Jets team last year because of how they've been drafting. Yes, they messed up with Zach Wilson, but at the same time, a lot of us saw the potential in Zach Wilson. We just didn't know if he would achieve it. But the rest of the team, that offensive line they've built, they've got running backs, they've got receivers, the defense is even better. So I actually like the Jets, and therefore I believe that Rodgers has a lot around him, and that could be a threat. However, it's his first time with him. There's no chemistry, so that's the thing that makes it questionable, and why I give the edge to Hurts. Also, there's Mahomes. Mahomes has been a threat every year. He gets his numbers every year, and they also have more weapons this year. So Mahomes is a threat. Now, a sneaky winner. A lot of people are going to say it's because I'm a Cowboy fan, but listen, I think Dak is sneaky. I'm not saying he's going to win MVP, but I'm saying if you want to put your money on somebody who isn't at the top of these betting odds, I would put it on Dak. And the reason why is because that Cowboys team is absolutely loaded. At receiver, we have so many weapons. At tight end, we have Ferguson, Hendershot, and we had a rookie Shoemaker. I saw him play yesterday, and man, that kid is big. We have that. At running back, we have athletes. We've got Tony Pollard. We have Deuce Vaughn, two guys that you can put out there in the slot, or you can have them run routes from the backfield. There's so much you can do from them, and if they get any space, they can create a big play. Also, the defense is very loaded on the Cowboys, which means that Dak can maybe calm down and not throw as many picks as he did last year, even though, yes, a lot of those picks were the receivers just dropping the balls, but hopefully we can get that fixed. So that's my MVP. We're going to go to my Offensive Player of the Year, and not a spicy pick because he won last year, but at the same time, I think winning two back-to-back Offensive Player of the Years, I think that's difficult. So for Offensive Player of the Year, I think Justin Jefferson does it again. And the reason why is if you look at his stats, somehow this guy gets better every single year. It's pretty impressive. And you add in a Jordan Addison. You just got to hope that Kirk Cousins is clicking. Like, if he's on it, I believe Justin Jefferson is going to improve his numbers and get Offensive Player of the Year. And then once again, as my other person for Offensive Player of the Year, I'm going to go with Dak because I feel like they might show him some love. If the Cowboys do what they're supposed to do and he doesn't get MVP, I believe they can show him some love there. Defensive Player of the Year, once again, y'all are going to call me a homer, but I felt he just does so much. Defensive Player of the Year, Micah Parsons. Yes, there's going to be a lot of eyes on him, but I don't think you can put that many eyes on him. We have the pickup of Stephen Gilmore is crazy. Like, I don't think people are really understanding that because you're looking at him as a CB1. He's a CB2, and I still believe that he is what he is. Him and Diggs, they can lock up, they can make plays. The defense is just loaded. So you can't just look at Micah Parsons and say, "Where's Micah Parsons?" You also have DeMarcus Lawrence across from him, which is an issue because that's a Pro Bowler. Needs to look that up, see if he's a. Yeah, I believe Lawrence made All Pro once. Maybe I gotta look that up. My bad if I didn't. But yeah, Micah Parsons winning. The threat is obvious. Nick Bosa. I don't think anything's going to stop Nick Bosa. Nick Bosa's going to get through. He's going to get his sacks. And the same thing with them. That 49ers defense is loaded. Yes, you see Nick Bosa across from you. Yes, the easy thing is, hey, let's stop Nick Bosa. But guess what? It's not, because that defense allows Nick Bosa to not just be watched. If you just watch Nick Bosa, you're going to set yourself up for failure. Now, my sneaky pick is Brian Burns. Not really sneaky because, surprisingly, I looked at some betting odds, and Brian Burns is kind of up there. So I was surprised at how much respect they put on him. But I believe that he has a shot also for Defensive Player of the Year. I think he's going to shock a lot of people. But I think the underrated thing with him is the division he's playing in. 6 of the games of the year is going to be weak opponents. And so, honestly, I give him that chance. You know, he can stuff the stat sheet on some of those games, and I believe that'll kind of make him really competitive. But don't get me wrong, he's a really good player. If he was on the Cowboys, I'd be extremely happy. So not taking anything from him, but also I'm just saying his strength of schedule helps as well with that. Now to the Offensive Rookie of the Year. This one is really tough. I was fighting back and forth on this one, but after looking at him yesterday, I'm going with the hype. Anthony Richardson, I've got to give it to him because he can do so much. He's an athlete that can run, and man, he was throwing some good passes yesterday. There's a lot to see with the kid. My number 2, the guy who I was fighting with, is Bryce Young, and that's because I believe he's just going to get the opportunity. People love quarterbacks. Quarterbacks typically win that, even though last year a receiver won it, but people just love their quarterbacks, so it's kind of just easy money to put your money on the quarterback. Now, the sneaky person I have is Bijan Robinson, and the reason I don't have Bijan winning it is because I think people forget that last year the Falcons had a good rookie running back. There's no tread on a tire. He's only a second-year player, and that's Algier. I feel like he's going to have to split a lot with him, and he's going to get his numbers still because they're going to give Bijan Robinson the ball, but at the same time, I just don't know how much of a focus he'll be because you already have good running backs there. You have Pitts at tight end. You want to give him some looks. There's just so much going on. And then on this one, I have a rookie that's going to struggle. A lot of people are going to think that I'm just going off of the game yesterday, but no, CJ Stroud, I believe he's going to struggle. I've been saying this since the draft. I said I don't think the Texans should draft him. And then yesterday, he looked behind, he looked slow. Yes, he's a rookie, and that's what's supposed to happen. But my issue is that the quarterback class next year was pretty stacked. I would have loved for the Texans to build everything else, but it is what it is. Defensive Rookie of the Year. This one, once again, tough. Oh, one more thing. On that Defensive Player of the Year, I forgot. There's another person who I have as a threat, and that is, and this one is my sneaky guy. And this one is Petrie. I think that's how you pronounce his name. But the Texans safety, watch out for him as Defensive Player of the Year because he's good, and that Texans defense is pretty good. I'm be honest with you. So watch out for him. The reason I just got reminded of him and thought about it now is because I'm thinking of Defensive Rookie of the Year, and I believe Will Anderson will have a shot at that because that Texans defense. I believe that with the focus that you'll have on the Texans, that he'll have a shot. But that's not who I have winning it. I just want to bring up Will Anderson's name. The person who I think should win it is Christian Gonzalez, and the reason is Bill Belichick makes studs out of cornerbacks. I don't know what it is, the system, but the Patriots, those cornerbacks, they have like a long list of names of people who have done good, and now you've got this guy who has all the tools in the box. I just think that we should see something from him. So I do think Christian Gonzalez is the guy. And now this guy, I said he's not going to win it, but he needs to be respected. MOZ Smith, everybody knows I'm a big MOZ Smith fan. But if you're going to look at what he's going to do for the Cowboys, I feel like it's somebody who you kind of have to respect what they do. He's not going to win. He's not going to win the award because he's not going to do the pretty stuff. I don't see him doing that anyways. I don't see him doing the pretty stuff, getting the sacks and all that stuff. But I see him allowing people like Micah Parsons and DeMarcus Lawrence to have big years, as well as Diggs and Stephen Gilmore and Deron Bland, and that's because they're going to force passes. You're not going to just be able to run on the Cowboys all day long anymore, because we'll have a way better rotation at D-line. Now for the big one, the Super Bowl. Not really a surprise here. I'm not going out on a limb and doing some wild little guess. It's a one that you've probably seen already. For the Super Bowl, I have the Bengals versus the Eagles. Both of those teams are pretty loaded. And then the Bengals, they got a chip on their shoulder. They're tired of getting there, and then they keep losing. Mahomes right now is their kryptonite. I think this year they actually do. They've been to the Super Bowl before, but I think they get back this year. So I got the Bengals versus the Eagles. Now, the two sneaky teams that I have, Cowboys and Jets. Once again, I think the Cowboys are the most loaded team. The only team with more than them is the Eagles. And before you say I'm a fan, I absolutely hate the Eagles. I do not like the Eagles. But I can admit some facts. And the fact is that Eagles team is loaded. And honestly, if you ask me to do a tier, to give me a tier of loaded teams, I've got the Eagles by themselves. Tier 1 is Eagles by themselves. Tier 2, Cowboys, Bengals, some teams here and there. But I do believe that the Cowboys are a threat still to the Eagles because, reminder, it's one game. You just got to be better than them for one game come playoff times. And I love how deep the Cowboys' defense is. The only thing is our offense has to stay healthy. Dak has to stay healthy. That's important. And then the Jets, I've told y'all, I like the Jets. The Jets are loaded. They finally have a quarterback in Aaron Rodgers. The only thing is they don't have chemistry. So I don't know. Aaron Rodgers is a vet. He's been in the league for years and years and years. And he has very good arm talent, just the things he can do. So I still give them that shot because maybe in 1 year Aaron Rodgers can just run out there. So tell me what you think about my predictions. Matter of fact, drop your predictions. I want to hear what everybody thinks. Who do you think is going to be offensive player, defensive player, MVP, the rookie, offensive rookie, defensive rookie, and who do you think is going to be in the Super Bowl? Like, comment, share, subscribe. I'm out.